The story happened in my hometown, Caixu Village. The old people still talk about it with relish. It is said that in the summer of the 1990s, when Jinlian came back from her mother's home, the sunset had disappeared. She was walking alone in the mountains and always felt that someone was following her. She looked back several times and found that it was a person wearing a bamboo hat. No matter how fast or slow she walked, the person followed her closely. At that time, she was a little scared. She thought to herself, in this wilderness, she looked so good, what would she do if she met a gangster? So she stopped. He pretended to tie his belt, hoping that the man would pass by quickly. But he didn't expect that the man would stop when he came to him. Jinlian looked back and was so scared that he almost lost his life. That was not a person, but a big monkey. And the monkey actually asked him, "Beauty, do you think I look like a human?" Jinlian grew up in the countryside and immediately realized that it was a big monkey asking for trouble. He was so angry that he said angrily, "You are just a big monkey." He didn't forget to greet his mother and ran home without looking back, but he didn't know what he was doing. At that time, his troubles had just begun. Legend has it that if a monster fails to be driven crazy, it needs to practice again for another 100 years. And Jinlian's words ruined the big monkey's journey to immortality. You know, monkeys always hold grudges, and he immediately chased after Jinlian and wanted to bite him. At this time, a stone hit the big monkey's face hard, revealing its true form. It turned out that it was Jinlian's husband Li Zongping who came. Li Zongping was a tough guy in the village. He was holding a hoe and looked extremely fierce. The big monkey was stunned for a moment, barked a few times, stared at them fiercely, and then jumped onto a tree and disappeared. Half a month passed in a blink of an eye. One day, Jinlian was working in the yard and suddenly heard a strange sound on the roof. She turned around and looked, and her face turned pale with fear. It turned out that there was a figure squatting on the roof of their house. Looking more carefully, the figure was the big monkey a few days ago. At this time, she was still wearing a headscarf and clothes and pretending to be a human. What was outrageous was that her mother-in-law just came back from outside. She was about to tell her mother-in-law about the big monkey, but her mother-in-law's expression was very strange. Then, she suddenly jumped up, flew towards Jinlian, and strangled her neck with both hands. Jinlian wanted to scream but couldn't. Her mother-in-law's hands were big and strong, strangling her. If she didn't let go, she would be strangled to death by her mother-in-law. At this time, Li Zongping happened to come back from the field and saw this scene. He heard that his mother's voice didn't sound like a human, and he understood the general situation in an instant. Looking around, he saw the big monkey on the tree, staring at him fiercely. Li Zongping picked up the sickle in his hand and flew towards the big monkey. The knife hit his shoulder, and the monkey screamed and fell from the tree. His mother also woke up immediately at this time, with a confused look on her face, not knowing what had just happened. From that day on, the big monkey never appeared again. Maybe he was afraid, so Li Zongping went back to the mountains to practice again. But some people said the thing was the most vengeful, and it was hard to say when it would come back.